Okay, so welcome to this video series on aptitude presented by Mentors4ias in association with Bangalore IAS Academy and NammaKPSC. So this is an initiative of NammaKPSC to help students to prepare and study from home with the help of YouTube videos and also with the help of current affairs which are actually available in the website, PDF materials for each and every subject, as well as online tests to track your preparation. So do remember to visit nammakpsc.com for more information. So in this particular video also we'll be continuing with time and work, given the importance of time and work. So again, I did not what do you call as stress on the importance of this particular topic. We've solved many problems. There are few more types of problems which can be solved, which we will be covering up in today's session. Okay, now when it comes to time and work, you also have certain problems based on data sufficiency. Okay, so today we'll take up certain problems based on data sufficiency. So what happens in data sufficiency is that you'll have a question, and under that particular question you'll have statements. More or less you'll have two statements, but you may also have three statements, generally not more than three statements. So you'll read the question first, and then you will read all the three statements. After reading the three statements, you have to determine which of the information present in which all statements is or would be necessary to solve that particular question. After determining that, you will have to mark or select the appropriate option. For example, you read the question and you read all the three statements or all the two statements, for example. So if you are able to solve the question depending on the information which is given only in the first statement and not the second statement, then you would mark option A. That is, if data in statement 1 alone is sufficient to solve the question, to solve the question and get the answer to the question, whereas the data in the statement 2 is insufficient to solve the question. However, if the required information to solve the respective question is present in statement 2, then you would mark option B, for example, which says that the data which is available in statement 1 alone is insufficient to solve the question, whereas data available in statement 2 alone is sufficient to solve the question. Similarly, sometimes the data which are present in both 1 and 2, that is both the statements, the data present in both the statements may be necessary or required to solve the question, then you would mark option C. And sometimes if the information or data which are presented in both the statements that in 1 and 2, both the statements contain insufficient information put together, and if you're not able to solve the question, then you might mark option D. So this is known as data sufficiency. So you really don't have to solve the question itself. You don't have to find out the answer or value to that particular question. You only have to determine if the question can be solved given, with respect to the information given in the statements below the question. So what we will do is we'll take a few questions of this type. Okay. So the first question says, how long will machine B working? How long will machine B, if working alone, take to produce X number of candles? So this is the question. So you have to find out the amount of time required for machine B alone to produce X number of candles. So there are two statements now. Statement 1 says machine A produces X number of candles in 5 minutes. Statement 2 says machine A and B working together at the same time produces X candles in 2 minutes. Now, obviously, if you have to solve problems on data sufficiency, you should have understood the concept of time and work. You should have viewed the previous 3 videos on time and work, and by now you should know, you should have knowledge about the kind of information which is actually required, which is actually necessary to solve problems based on time and work. So once this is understood, this is very simple. But if you don't understand the concept behind time and work, obviously you will not be able to solve problems on data sufficiency. So see here. So the question is nothing but asking for the time required to produce X number of candles. So what is the work? The work to be done is to produce X number of candles. X number of candles. So we used to assume chocolates, but here it is nothing but X number of candles. Now statement 1 says machine A produces X candles in 5 minutes. Now only by this information can I determine the efficiency of machine B, the rate at which machine B should be able to produce X candles, the amount of time required to produce X candles? Absolutely not. So statement 1 alone is insufficient. The information contained here is insufficient to answer this particular question. How about statement 2? Statement 2 says machine A and B working at the same time produces X candles in 2 minutes. Meaning if machines A and B work together, that is when we are able to produce X candles in 2 minutes. From this, are we able to determine or answer this particular question? No. But what if we consider both statement 1 and 2? Then don't you think we should be able to answer the question? It is very simple, don't you think? See here, machine A and B working together should be able to produce X candles in 2 minutes. So this is nothing but your very simple, the usual format of questions when it comes to time and work. What is A? A is nothing but 2 minutes. Now instead of days, instead of hours, we have minutes. Now I have to find out B. I have to find, sorry, my mistake. This is 5 over here. Machine A produces X candles in 5 minutes. This is 5 over here. So this information I'm taking from the first statement, and here, if both of them are working together, they complete the work that is produce X candles in 2 minutes. I am taking this information from the second statement. Now don't you think I should be able to determine it? It is nothing but 1 by 2 minus 1 by 5. I am taking this to the other side over here. So this is nothing but 5 minus 2 by 10. This is nothing but 3 by 10. So I have 1 by B. 1 by B is nothing but 1 by 3 by 10. So the amount of time required to produce X number of candles by machine B is nothing but 3 by 10 minutes. So the answer is both 1 and 2. I will require both statements 1 and 2 to answer this particular question. So it's option C. Question 2. Now question 2 says B alone can complete a piece of work in 12 days. How many days will A, B and C together take to complete the entire work? So we have to find out X by A plus X by B plus X by C is equal to X by D. So I need the value for D. B's value has already been given. B is nothing but 12 days. This is already given. But we need A's value and C's value to determine D's value. So now we'll have to consider both the statements. So the first statement says A and B together can complete the work in 3 days. Okay, so A and B can complete the work together in 3 days. But I still need the value for C. I am not able to determine. Now this should be very simple for you. X by A divided by X by 12 is equal to nothing but X by 3. So don't you think you should be able to find out the value for A now? So it is X by A is equal to X by 3 minus X by 12, or I can say it is 4X by 12 over here. Now this is nothing but 3X by 12 or X by 4. So A alone takes 4 days. A alone takes 4 days to complete the entire work alone. Similarly, in order to find out the number of days taken by C, I'll need the second statement. I'll have to consider the second statement, which says X by B plus X by C is equal to X by 6. Therefore, X by C is nothing but X by 6 minus X by 12, or I could say 2X by 12. This is nothing but X by 12 itself. Now don't you think we should be able to find out the value for D? Of course we have to. Now see, all these things are not necessary. You really don't have to solve all these problems. It is not necessary that you find. I am just proving it to you that we need both the statements, information which are actually contained in both the statements. You cannot do it only by first statement or by the second statement over here. So if you take x by a is x by 4, x by b is nothing but x by 12, and x by c is also x by 12, then we should be able to find out the value for d. Why not I write this as 3? Okay, so I need 3 plus 1 4, 4 plus 1 5. Therefore 5x by 12 is equal to x by d. X and x gets cancelled. Therefore d is nothing but 12 by 5 days. So if all of them are working together, they should be able to complete the entire work in 12 by 5 days. But in order to determine this value of 12 by 5 days, I need both statement 1 and statement 2. Therefore, it is both 1 and 2. I need both the statements, the information contained in both the statements, data contained in both the statements to determine the answer. Therefore, it is both 1 and 2. Third statement. Now, the third statement says A and B together can complete a task in 7 days. So obviously we know how to do this. Nothing but x by A and x by B is equal to x by 7. Correct? B alone can do it in 20 days. Fine. B worked for some days and left. What part of the work is now carried out by A alone? This is the question. So what the question is saying that both A and B start to work. However, B worked for some days and then B left in between, whereas A continued to work. Now, when A continued to work, what was the remaining amount of work which was actually performed by A? In order to determine that, we have to consider certain information, because by this information itself I am not able to find out. I am able to find out the number of days taken by A. So what is the number of days taken by A to complete the entire work? It is nothing but x by A is equal to x by 7 minus, I am taking this to the other side over here, where B's value is 20. So it is nothing but x by 20. So what do I have here? I have 20x minus 7x divided by 140. This is nothing but 13x by 140, or A takes 140 by 3 days to complete the entire work. So I have now determined the time taken by A to complete the entire work. Now, but however, the information contained here is insufficient. Let me consider the first statement now. The first statement says A completed the job alone after A and B worked together for 5 days. Okay, we have now some information now. Now, what do you understand by x by 7? This is nothing but the amount of work which is completed in a single day, correct? This is nothing but the amount of work completed by both A and B single day in a single day if they are working together. Now, if both A and B work together, for 5 days, what is the amount of work which is completed? It is nothing but 5x into 7, or 5x by 7. This is the amount of work which is actually completed by both of them. After working for 5 days, it is said that B is left, because A and B work together only for 5 days. Then it only means that B left after 5 days. The remaining amount of work is completed by A. So what is the remaining amount of work? The total amount of work to be completed was x, whereas 5 by 7 x amount of work has been completed. What does this mean? The remaining amount of work is nothing but x minus 5x by 7. This is nothing but 2x by 7. So this is the original amount of work which is actually completed by A, and we don't need this value at all. We really don't need this value at all. So therefore, I can say that I can complete the entire, I can find out the solution only by the information contained in the first statement. How about the second statement? Sometimes it could be possible that the information contained in statement 1 alone is enough. Also, the information contained in statement 2 alone is enough, because you could have an option like that where it says that information contained in both statement 1 and 2 itself by themselves is enough to solve the entire question. So we have to consider the second statement as well. So the second statement says part of the work which is done by A could have been done by B and C together in 6 days. Now this obviously does not give us any clue because we really have no idea about C. However, we can find out the number of days taken by C to complete the entire work, but that does not give us any information about when did B leave. There is no connection between C and A, so it does not make sense for me to find out any value, the number of days taken by C to complete the entire day. Therefore, this information is entirely useless to us. We'll only go with option A, that is statement 1 alone. So it's only 1. Next statement. Now, the next question says, in how many days can the work be done by 9 men and 15 women? So we have to find out how many days does it take to complete a certain amount of work to be done by 9 men and 15 women. So we have 3 statements which say 6 men and 5 men complete the work in 6 days, 3 men and 4 women can complete the work in 10 days, 8 men and 15 women can complete the work in 2 days. Now, just by reading the question, see, you have to understand these questions are so simple. If you understand the question, you can straight away go and mark. See, even in the previous questions, you should have been, it is not necessary for us to solve all this. I'm just doing this for your sake to prove that it is option A. You can simply, so this is nothing but problems on time and work under data sufficiency, where even without solving, you should be able to mark the answer as long as you have understood the concept. Even in this one, you should be able to understand, you should be able to know that we need both the statements to solve the problem. So even without lifting your pen, even without writing a single letter, a single number on the paper, you should be able to answer these questions. However, in order to prove it to you, I'm just going to solve it. Okay, so take these 2 statements for example. Okay, for the first 2 statements. Now the first 2 statements is 6 men, so I'm going to represent men by M and women by W. So 6 men and 5 men can complete the work in 6 days. 3 men and 4 women are able to complete the work in 10 days. Correct? Okay. Now, in the previous video, we did solve a similar problem like this. And I did mention that whenever you have 2 simultaneous equations like this, I cannot represent the equations in terms of days. I have to change it to the amount of work to be completed. So let me assume some amount of work to be completed as to eat a number of chocolates. Obviously, I'll take the number of chocolates to be 60 chocolates because it is simpler. You could take 30 chocolates, 120 chocolates, it does not matter. For me, it is simpler to take 60 chocolates. So let me assume that the amount of work to be done is to eat 60 chocolates. So if 6 men and 5 women eat 60 chocolates in 6 days, how many chocolates per day? 10 chocolates per day. Similarly, 3 men and 4 women eat 60 chocolates in 10 days, meaning 6 chocolates per day. So now can't I solve this equation over here? So I have 6 men plus 5 women is equal to 10. I also have 3 men plus 4 women is equal to 6. Is this clear? Okay. I'll just multiply this by 2 to equate these 2 equations. So if I multiply the second equation by 2, what do I get here? I get 12m plus 8 women is equal to 12 chocolates per day. I'll bring this equation over here. I have 6 men. Sorry, my mistake. This is 3 2s is 6. 3 2s is 6. 3 2s 6. 4 2s 8. 6 2s 12. Correct. 5 women here and I have 10 here. So minus. I'm subtracting this equation by this equation. So 6 men gets cancelled. I have 3 women is equal to 2. Sorry, this is women. Therefore, 1 woman is able to eat 2 by 3 chocolates per day. That is what we have determined. 1 woman is able to eat 2 by 3 chocolates per day. Now, why not find out the number of chocolates that 1 man can eat? So we will substitute for woman over here. I'll substitute W as 2 by 3 in this equation over here, the second equation over here. I'm going to substitute it here. So I get 3m plus 4 into 2 by 3. I'm substituting W as 2 by 3 that we have determined, which is equal to 6. So we get 3m plus 8 by 3 is equal to 6, or 3m is equal to 6 minus 8 by 3. 6 3s are 18. This is nothing but 6 3s are 18. 18 minus 8 is 10. It is 10 by 3. Or 3m is equal to 10 by 3. I take 3 here. M is equal to nothing but 10 by 9. So one man can eat how many chocolates per day? One man can eat 10 by 9 chocolates per day. What is the question asking for? 9 men. How many can 9 men eat? If one man can eat 10 by 9 chocolates per day, how many can 9 men eat? Nothing but 9 into 10 by 9. 9 into 10 by 9 is nothing but 10 chocolates per day. How about 15 women? How many chocolates can 15 women eat in a day? One woman can eat only 2 by 3. Then 15 women can eat what? 15 into 2 by 3. 3 5s are 15, 5 2s are also 10 chocolates per day. So when 9 women and 15 women come together, they should be able to eat 10 plus 10, 20 chocolates per day. If they're eating 20 chocolates per day, they will obviously take 3 days to eat 60 chocolates. So don't you think you're able to find out the number of days which are actually required to, which are required by 9 men and 15 women to eat 60 chocolates? Of course you're able to do that. Similarly, I can use these two statements just like this, the same method. I can use the second and third statement to find out the value. You should get the same value. Or you should be able to use, see again, it might depend on the statement, the value as well. But however, you should be able to determine the days taken by 9 men and 15 women. Similarly, I can take the first statement and the third statement as well. You should be able to find out. So it does not matter. As long as you have any of the two statements, this is enough. You should be able to solve it. So it is option C. So the correct answer is any two of the three statements. I hope you've understood this. Okay. So we've done 4 questions on data sufficiency, and we'll do another problem, which this is not data sufficiency, but this is a more lengthier problem when it comes to time and work. I don't suppose you'll get these kind of problems in your KPS or UPSC, but you can never see. You can never be sure. Since we've already done so many problems, why not do one more tough problem, and so that we can wrap up work and time. Okay. Now we have a question here. 1 man, 3 women and 4 boys can do a piece of work in 96 hours. So instead of days, it is 96 hours. 2 men and 8 boys can do it in 80 hours. 2 men and 3 women can do it in 120 hours. Then 5 men and 12 boys can do it in how many hours? Now the concept remains the same, the steps remains the same. Only thing is that the number of steps may increase. That is the only thing. But apart from that, there is nothing there. Please don't get scared by the options over here. Oh, 39 1 by 11, 42 7 by 11, 43 7 by 11, or 44. Please don't get scared by the options. Take the problem, solve the problem. Okay, here simply it is not possible that you identify the correct option just by reading the question and just by looking at the options. It is not possible. You have to solve the problem to get the correct answer. Okay, sorry, the answer has already been given here. Okay, fine, no problem. We'll solve the question now. Now, the same thing. Okay, so I'll represent men by M, women by W, and boys by B. Okay, so what I will do is, I have the first equation as 1 man plus 3 women plus 4 boys are able to complete a work in 96 hours. Similarly, 2 men plus 8 boys are able to complete the work in 80 hours. Now this is 96 hours, this is 80 hours. 2 men and 3 women are able to complete the work in 120 hours. Now again, the same thing, I cannot represent it in terms of the number of days or the number of hours. That is not in time, not in terms, or not with respect to the amount of time which is taken, but with respect to we have to represent it in terms of the amount of work that has to be completed. So once again, why not assume the number of chocolates to be eaten? So I need the LCM for 96, 80, 120. Okay, now this is a bit tricky. Tricky in the sense it is time consuming. However, all of them are multiples of 12 itself. So if multiples of 12, 240, 90, 9 to 180, no, 90, no. How about 360? 9 2 9 3 27, 9 4 okay, no, 96 into 4 will obviously be more than 360. How about 480? About 480. So we can try with 9 5, 9 5 6 5 30, 9 5 45, 45. Okay, 480 is correct. Yes, 480 divisible by 96. Obviously, 8 6 are 48, 12 4 are 48. So we'll take the amount of work to be done as to eat 480 chocolates. The amount of work that has to be done is to eat 480 chocolates. So if the amount of work to be done is nothing but to eat 480 chocolates, can I rewrite the options, sorry, the equations over here? Can I write it as 1m plus 3 women plus 4 boys is equal to 96 was 5 times 5 chocolates per day. Similarly, 2m plus 8 boys is equal to 6 chocolates per day, and 2m plus 3 women is equal to 120 chocolates per day. So let this be my first equation, my second equation, and my third equation. Okay, now see here, the question is only asking for 5 men and 12 boys. I don't need women. I really don't need women. So I need two equations with only men and boys. Only then will I be able to solve it. Because if you have two simultaneous equations, you should have two unknown variables. Now here, since we have three unknown variables and three equations, but we don't need women, we have to eliminate women from the equations. So the idea is to get two equations with only men and boys. So how do we do that? Now I'm going to do it by my method. That is, I will first add equation 2 and equation 3. So if I add equation 2 and equation 3, what do I get? I get 2m plus 8 boys. I get 2m plus 8 boys is equal to 6 chocolates per day. I get 2m plus 3 women is equal to, sorry, this is 4 chocolates per day. My mistake. 120, yeah, it is 4 chocolates per day. 4 chocolates per day. Okay, I get 4 chocolates per day. So I have 4m plus 3 women plus 8b is equal to 10 chocolates per day. So now what I will do is that I will take the first equation and the fourth equation. I will eliminate women. I will try and eliminate women. So what I will do is I will subtract the first equation from the fourth equation. So now I am subtracting the first equation from the first equation. So I have 4m 3w plus 8b is equal to 10, and 1m plus 3 women plus 4b is equal to 5. So I'm going to subtract it now. Minus, minus, minus. So we get 3m, this is 0 plus 0 plus 4b is equal to 10 minus 5 is 5. So we have 3m plus 4b is equal to 5. Let this be my fifth equation. Now look at the second equation and the fifth equation. Don't we have two equations? 2m plus 8b is equal to 6, 3m plus 4b is equal to 5 in terms of only men and boys? Of course we have. Now we only have to find out the value for men and boys. The number of chocolates eaten by one man in a day, sorry, one man per hour. My mistake again, I'm sorry. It doesn't matter here, but it's all in terms of hours. Sorry, it's all in terms of hours. Number of chocolates per hour. Number of chocolates per hour. Okay, so it is 5 chocolates per hour. So next what I will do is, I will consider the second equation and I will consider the first equation, so fifth equation. I will subtract the fifth equation from the second equation after multiplying it by 2. Why? Because I will try to eliminate b. I will multiply this equation by 2 over here. So if I multiply this equation over by 2 over here, and then if I try to subtract it, so what do I get? I get 2m plus 8b is equal to 6. That is from the second equation, and after multiplying I get 6m plus 8b is equal to 10. Minus and minus and minus. 2 minus 6 is nothing but minus 4m is equal to minus 4. Or one man eats, 4 gets cancelled, minus minus gets cancelled. One man eats 1 chocolate per hour. That is what we have found out. One man can eat 1 chocolate per hour. Then we have to find out how many chocolates does a boy eat per hour. How many chocolates does a boy eat per hour? So why not substitute m, the value of m as 1 in any of these equations. So let me substitute the value of m as 1 in the second equation over here. Substituting the value of m in the second equation, what do I get? I get 2 into 1 plus 8 is equal to 6, sorry, 8b. 8b. Therefore, 8b is nothing but 6 minus 2 is 4. b is nothing but 4 by 8. 4 by 8 is nothing but half, or equal to 0.5. That is half a chocolate per day. That is the number of chocolates eaten by a boy. Now the question is asking for what? The question is asking for how many do 5 men and 12 boys eat. Correct? In how much time does it require for 5 men and 12 boys to complete the entire work, that is to eat all 480 chocolates. So if one man can eat 1 chocolate per hour, 5 men can eat 5 chocolates per hour. If one boy can eat half a chocolate per hour, 12 boys can eat 12 into 0.5, nothing but 6 chocolates per hour. Therefore, 5 men and 12 boys can eat 11 chocolates per hour. Nothing but 11 chocolates per hour. So, in 1 hour, if they can eat 11 chocolates, how many hours required to eat 480 chocolates? So, it is nothing but 480 divided by 11. How do we do this? 11 4s are 44. I get 4 0. 11 3s are 33. I get remainder as 7. So see, 11, 43 and 7. Do we have this? Of course we have it. It is nothing but option C over here. Nothing but option C over here. Therefore, the correct answer is nothing but option C, 43 7 by 11. So I hope you've understood. I hope you should be able to solve these problems. So I've solved 5 problems. So I think we have solved enough number of problems when it comes to time and work. We've taken 4 sessions over here. So please try to solve more problems. I've actually found one website. You can actually try hitbullseye.com. It is nothing but I think it is, if I remember, hitbullseye.com. If I'm not wrong, hitbullseye.com. You can find free problems over there with solution. Maybe you can try and solve them if possible. However, or else try to do the practice question that I give you. At least try to do that. If you're able to do that, it is more or less sufficient. There's a 6th question over here. I've given you the answer over here. Now there are practice questions. The separate practice questions are there in the next slide. However, I want you to do the 6th problem also by yourself. Okay, try to do the 6th problem also by yourself. This is by the chain rule. Try to see if you're able to do it. Most of you may get 10 days. It is not 10 days. It is a bit tricky. It is actually 5 days. Don't make that careless mistake. I've given the answer over here. It is 5 days, not 10 days. So try to solve this, try to see if you're able to get it. Apart from that, you do have your practice questions. There are 3 practice questions. Now all these 3 practice questions are from data sufficiency, whereas this is from chain rule. So try to see if you're able to solve these problems. The answers will be posted in the comment section. So please do remember, please do try to make best use of the resources which are available to ensure that your preparation is on track. In case you do have any doubts, please do write to us in the comment section. As and when possible, we will do answer them. Thank you.